Just watch my servant come alive, exalted, tall, head and shoulders above the crowd. But he didn't begin that way. At first, everyone was appalled.
Darkness, to hold, to strangle life, sense and purpose from the earth, human plans, dash, human hopes, ruin, human brain.
He didn't even look human. A ruined face, disfigured, past recognition. Nations all over the world will be in awe, taken aback. Kings shocked into silence when they see him. For what was unheard of, they'll see with their own eyes. What was unthinkable, they'll have right before them. Who believes what we've heard and seen? Who would have thought God's saving power would look like this? The servant grew up before God like a tender shoot, like a root out of a parched field. There was nothing attractive about him, nothing to cause us to take a second look.
Kingly robes, marble halls, political power, religious gilding, he would have none of it.
He was looked down on and passed over. A man who suffered, who knew pain firsthand. One look at him and people turned away. We looked down on him, thought he as despised and rejected. But the fact is, it was our pains he carried, our disfigurements, all the things wrong with us.
Our grief he bore, our sorrow he carried, our ugliness was painted on his soul, our selfishness was driven nails. God was not punishing him for his failures, but ours.
It was our sins that did that to him, that ripped and tore and crushed him. Our sins.
He was pierced through for our transgressions. Every lash, my lash. Every pain, my pain. Every thirst, my thirst.
He took the punishment, and that made us whole. Through his bruises, we get healed.
His blood for my life. His pain for my healing. His torture for the torture I will never endure. His brokenness for my completion.
We're all like sheep who have gone off, gotten lost. We've all done our own thing and gone our own way. And God has piled all our sins, everything we've ever done wrong, on him. On him. He was beaten. He was tortured. But he didn't say a word. Like a lamb taken to be slaughtered, and like a sheep being sheared, he took it all in silence. Justice miscarried, and he was let off. And did anyone really know what was happening? He died without a thought for his own welfare, beaten, bloodied for the sins of my people.
He looked on mankind and said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. In a flash, in a moment of sheer darkness and aloneness, he understood every pain, every consequence, every betrayal, and the crushing weight of every sin we have ever endured.
They buried him with the wicked, threw him in a grave with a rich man, even though he had never hurt a soul or said one word that wasn't true. Still, it's what God had in mind all along, to crush him with pain. The plan was that he give himself an offering for sin, so that he'd see life come from it. Life, and more life. And God's plan will deeply prosper through him. Out of that terrible travail of soul, he'll see that it was worth it and be glad he did it. Through what he experienced, my righteous one, my servant, will make many righteous ones. As he himself carries the burden of their sins, therefore I'll reward him extravagantly, the best of everything, the highest honors, because he looked death in the face and didn't flinch, because he embraced the company of the lowest. He took on his own shoulders the sin of many. He took up the cause of all the black sheep.
Hope taken down from the cross, thrown into darkness. God answers sealed behind a cold stone. Then in one glorious moment, as a new day threw rays of warmth over the Jerusalem hills, angelic power, like the shaking of all the earth, descended, and all that was black, broken, and impossible was rolled away. Men shook with fear and fell as if dead. The eyes of heaven looked intently into the deep places of loss and anguish, pooled in the eyes of women who are the searching soul of mankind, and declared,
Why do you seek the living one among the dead? Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, just as he said.